Here is a 2024 Maserati GranTurismo Modena. This is all new for 2024. They stopped making it back in 2019 and they have now reconfigured the engine, the suspension, every single thing about this vehicle is up to the 21st century with the new Nettuno engine that is detuned from the MC20, housed inside the GranTurismo. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and in the front gets a little bit difference between the two trims. The Modena is going to be the most detuned Nettuno twin turbo V6 opposed to the Trofeo. And the lower gets all the gloss black elements, front and rear parking sensors, and a 360-degree reverse camera. Now you will have to tick some boxes for options in order to get some of the exterior styling, like the side window trim, the badges getting blacked out. That's going to go into the design queue. MC20 headlights and a longer front overhang with a more dominant proportion layout. When you're comparing this against Porsche, Aston Martin, or even going into a Lamborghini, which they don't offer a 2+2 sports car, going maybe against a Huracan, this is going to be one of the more aggressive in pricing, and your 0 to 60 is going to be 0.4 seconds slower than the Trofeo, 0.8 seconds slower than the MC20. But when you're thinking about the V8 from last year, this has over 30 horsepower more. It is 20 less pound-feet of torque, but the 0 to 60 is at 3.7 seconds. And this is a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6 producing 483 horsepower and 361 pound-feet of torque paired to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. A top speed at 188 miles per hour with the staggered wheel setup. We got a 20-inch in the front, 21 out back, 6-piston brakes behind those red calipers, vented, slotted, ready for performance. And anything that's under 4 seconds 0 to 60. It's a track-ready vehicle. Standard air suspension, standard all-wheel drive, and achieving 18 mpgs for the city, 27 for the highway. But when you're at a near 200 grand price, it's kind of the least of your worries. Electronic rear locking differential. When you're comparing this against Porsche, Aston Martin, it's going to be faster than some of the base tiers in the 0 to 60, and when you're considering the price, even going against the Ferrari Roma, this is about 0.3 seconds quicker 0 to 60. And an electric variant is coming out with over 750 horsepower 0 to 60 around 2.6 seconds, and a charging of 100 miles in 5 minutes with a 450 mile range. So I'm liking where Maserati's going, and the big question is, how does the Nettuno twin turbo V6 sound compared to the V8 in the prior gen? It's not going to sound the same, but I'm liking that it's a detuned 2 times, because this is the Modena MC20 engine for a fraction of the price. And if you go Trofeo, it's about 30 grand more, and you're getting 0.4 seconds quicker 0 to 60, in which this is kind of the sweet spot when you're considering going into a new GranTurismo, because you're getting the speed, performance, and that MC20 detuned engine. The rear is going to have a wider track and profile sit because we have the digital rear view mirror. The camera is stationed on the shark fin antenna, quad exhaust tips. When you get to the Trofeo, it gets a little bit more exciting into the back. This is still not going to be a fly underneath the radar vehicle by any standard. LED taillights, and most of the characteristics of the GranTurismo will resemble other Maserati trims, which makes this not only iconic, but keeps that historical look in the brand. Kick to open and power liftgate going into 11 cubic feet. It does sit up, but the opening is actually pretty wide, and the way the actual trunk opens makes it easy to get inside with a pass-through 12-volt charger underneath the floor. Gets the air pump. But we need to go inside, start up this Nettuno V6 engine so you can hear that exhaust note. 18-way power seat adjustment for the front, heated, ventilated. You'll have to click the comfort package, which we have. That will also get the heated steering wheel and the kick to open tailgate. Headroom and leg room. It's going to be a wide interior set. I like the two-tone for the dash because it makes it look a lot more sporty. We get the Italian flag, Gran Turismo, 19 speakers through Sonos, heads-up display, and the digital rear view mirror is all part of the Tech Assist package. 12.3 touchscreen is going to be on the top, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse, you have to use these buttons right here, which will show you the 360-degree reverse camera with full trajectory. Underneath the gear shifter is going to be an 8.8 inch that's derived for your climate control, heated ventilated seats, heated steering wheel to turn on and off the lights, the audio sound system, and the clock, which is a digital clock that you can change from a regular analog to the pedals for brake power, and your G-force meter. I personally like the clock. You can also change the ambient lighting in the interior of the vehicle. Underneath is going to have a QI wireless charger, and because there's no shifter here, it gives us a little bit more storage capacity with cup holders that open up to a mug holder, and the key fob for the new Gran Turismo Modena. It's going to be soft to touch. It opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket with a 12-volt, 2 USB ports, leather-wrapped steering wheel. This is derived out of the Alfa Romeo. Multi-function with the push-button start and the driving mode select, which changes the whole dynamics. You have comfort, which will illustrate here on the infotainment. GT, it's a little bit more sporty, and the most aggressive sport mode, which will also configure the ambient lighting. The gauge cluster can go through an array of information for the driver, including the G-force and some of the information in which you could put on the clock. You can also change the layout of the cluster. I have it on the Classic. You could just make it a little bit more understated for yourself. Or you could just make it a little bit more relaxed. The dashboard and the door panels configure in together. The pattern is going to be just a little bit different the way it lays out, but I do like how it more or less flows onto the passenger side from the center. Push to get out. Soft materials are pretty much found everywhere. A large grab handle, one touch up and down for the windows, with a smaller storage pocket. Going into the back, it's going to electronically move forward for you. You got to remember, this is a Gran Turismo. It does have more leg and headroom, which you're going to see, than the prior gen. The rails are okay where they're at. You have plenty of feet space, and this is the leg space. It will basically stop to you and give you about an inch or so more. You can hang your clothes right here. You do have some soft material so you can rest your arms. As for headroom, it's actually not that bad. It's going to be more so towards the window, a little bit better than the prior gen. USB ports, cup holders, air vents that are stationed. All you do is just move it up and down. 29 horsepower more than the prior V8 at 483 horsepower. 23 pound-feet of torque. The 361 pound-feet that we have, though, gets a 0 to 60 almost a second quicker than the prior gen. So when you're thinking it's a twin-turbo V6 opposed to a V8, I don't know. I mean, you're getting the same package in the sense of better performance, and you're still getting that Gran Coupe drive, meaning you could do it on the weekends. You could take this on the track because of the performance that's already out of it. Anything under 4 seconds, it's pretty insane. Near perfect balance for weight distribution, and even in the interior, you have a lot of space. Let's see that performance. It's crazy. It is insane. It pushes you back. You get all of the excitement that you need, but it's still comfortable because it's an air suspension. That's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is the refresh and redesign has just changed this vehicle tremendously because you're getting more power, you're getting quicker numbers, you're getting a smoother drive, better intelligence with the actual technology, better safety, softer materials. There's a lot of pluses. On the negative, they do not offer a V8, but then on the plus, a detuned MC20 engine for a discounted price, which to me is just crazy that they're doing this. And they also do it with the Grecale, which that starts around 102 to 104 grand. So when I'm thinking I'm getting that raw power out of the twin turbo V6, just a few horsepower or torque less, that's an insane deal. Now when you're comparing this against the Trofeo, you're talking 59 horsepower or less. Now this is why I like Gran Turismos. You can go in and out of parking lots and you do this. I kind of like the exhaust note that comes out. I mean, people are probably questioning, well, it's not a V8, it's not going to sound the same. I still think it's a great package overall. Turn radius, though, is not at its best. 2.5, 3 lanes. Let's go. Some cons is if you're at this price, 30 grand is the difference. You're gonna get a lot more performance, 99 pound-feet of torque more going into the Trofeo. I know it's only 0.4 seconds quicker on the 0 to 60, but even the exterior has some bits in the front and in the rear. It just changes it up to make more of an aggressive look. Pros to it, you put it back into GT, it's a quiet vehicle. It goes over imperfections, and when you're considering a staggered wheel setup, typically it's not going to be as comfortable. It's going to be a lot more sport derived. That's why when you're choosing a Maserati opposed to a Ferrari or Aston Martin, you don't have that feel like you're just riding on the asphalt. You actually have comfort in between it. So I think adding the air suspension just made this vehicle a lot more sporty yet luxurious blended in. The only or big problem that I would see is there is Grecale components, and you can get the detuned MC20 engine in the Grecale, which I don't understand why they're doing that when you're considering the MC20 goes over $300,000 and you can get it at $100-ish thousand price point. And then going into this, it's a better bang for your buck because you're getting the 2+2 seat, and it still captures the fun ride that the Gran Turismo is known for. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Maserati Tampa for giving us this 2024 Maserati Gran Turismo for our car review.